Look in the mirror. Do you really see yourself? What if the familiar face staring back isn't entirely you? For years, I've had this unsettling feeling, a whisper that something else is lurking just beyond the glass. A silent watcher, a patient imitator. And sometimes, if I linger too long, I'm no longer sure which side of the mirror I belong on. It started small. A fleeting moment. That flicker you notice out of the corner of your eye when you're rebrushing your teeth or fixing your hair. Your reflection moves, but not quite the way you did. Maybe the tilt of the head lags, or the smile feels stretched. At first, you tell yourself it's nothing. Just fatigue, a trick of the light. Maybe your mind wandered and your body followed half a second later. But then it happens again. And again. One night, I caught myself pausing in front of the bathroom mirror, just staring. My face was mine every blemish, every wrinkle of tiredness, but the longer I stared, the less me it seemed. My eyes looked empty, as though someone had painted them on. The mouth looked stiff, almost waiting for something. And when I finally turned away, I could have sworn my reflection didn't. There are words for this, at least. The safer explanations. Depersonalization. Derealization. That eerie split, where your own body, your own face, feels like it doesn't belong to you. Psychologists will say it's stress or exhaustion, or your mind protecting itself from something too overwhelming to process. But the scariest part is how real it feels. Not just weird, real. Tangibly real. You blink at the mirror, and for half a second, the person staring back seems wrong. The way a doll is wrong. The way a mask is wrong. Close enough to fool you, but not enough to comfort you. The uncanny valley doesn't just apply to robots or mannequins, it applies to you. And once you've seen it once, you've felt your own reflection as a stranger, you can see it. Of course, it isn't a new fear. Mirrors have always been more than glass and silver. Ancient cultures treated them like portals. Some believed reflections were copies of the soul itself, that if the mirror cracked, so did your spirit. Others warned that lingering too long could invite something through. In Slavic folklore, mirrors were covered after a death, so the soul of the deceased wouldn't get trapped on the wrong side. Then there are the doppelgänger, chilling idea of seeing yourself outside of where you should be. The double, the shadow self, and the warning that meeting your reflection outside of the mirror means death is close behind. Even modern horror plays on it. Films and stories where the reflection smiles when you don't, or moves after you've stopped. Deep down, everyone knows how wrong that is, because we've all, at some point, caught a glimpse of it. If you're searching for comfort, science has its theories. Our brains build an image of ourselves, an internal portrait constantly updated as we see our reflection, feel our body move, or hear our own voice. But that portrait isn't flawless. It's fragile. Small disruptions can shake it. Think about the fraction of a second delay between your movement and the brain processing what the eyes see. It's almost nothing but in that sliver of time. Doubt creeps in. Some researchers even created mirror illusions on purpose, simple lighting tricks, or repeated gazing into a mirror in dim light. After only a few minutes, people start seeing distortions. Their face warps. Eyes look hollow. Some even see strangers looking back. They call it the strange face illusion. But here's the problem. What if it's not just an illusion? Because once you've stood long enough in front of a mirror, once you've seen the subtle wrongness bleed through it, doesn't matter what science says. You know what you saw. There's a moment where you feel watched, not just by yourself, but by it. The copy. The thing inside the glass. And maybe it doesn't always get it right. Maybe sometimes it slips. A smuck when you're blank-faced. A blink out of sync. A twitch You didn't make. The first time I leaned in close, just inches from the surface, I swore I heard something, a faint breath not mind condensing against the other side. And the longer I stayed, the louder it got, like whispers seeping through, forming words I couldn't quite catch. My skin crawled. My reflection. His lips parted, but I didn't move. Do you understand the horror of that? Your own mouth shaping words you never spoke. Primera vez que dawai heart pounding. But the whispers didn't stop, and even now, when the house is silent, I sometimes hear them. Faint, behind the walls, behind the glass. If it's not you, then who is it? That's the question that rots in the back of your mind. Because if your reflection is only an illusion, why does it feel like it's watching back? If it's just your brain glitching, why does it sometimes move when you don't? Some philosophers argue consciousness itself is a mirror, that who we are is just a reflection bouncing endlessly inside our heads. But if that's true, then maybe what we see in the glass isn't a copy at all. Maybe it's the original, and we're the echo. What if every glance in the mirror is really two beings, face to face each, wondering which one is real? I don't spend as much time in front of mirrors anymore, but sometimes I catch myself in passing, in a dark window or a bathroom glance, and the fear rises again. My reflection looks at me with something like hunger. The other night, I woke up to a sound, a faint tap, tap, tap. I thought it was a branch against the window until I saw it. The mirror across the room, a handprint mine, but not mine pressed from the inside. And when I dared to look, I saw my reflection standing still, but its eyes shifted sideways, toward me in the bed. It smiled, and I swear, I heard the words this time, whispered, clear as breath against my ear. Switch. So tonight, before you wash your face, before you brush your teeth, before you lean in to check your reflection, ask yourself, do you really see you? Or is it already watching, already waiting for the moment you stare too long, and it decides to step forward? Because maybe the real question isn't whether your reflection belongs to you. Maybe the question is, do you belong to it?